So interest rates, highest in decades. Last couple of years have been especially hard for anyone that has a mortgage.
Research shows that more than a third of Brits think living the mortgage-free dream will be impossible before they retire.
Yeah, so Ken and Mary Okaroafor thought the same until they discovered tips that helped them clear £380,000 of debt in just 7 years. And now the husband and wife super duo are here to share how they did it. Morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us.
Great to be here.
Ken, let's start with you. So, obviously, living mortgage-free is... I mean, it's bred into us, really, in this country, isn't it?
It's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah. So, it's a pipe dream for most people. How possible is it?
It's possible with a plan and giving up a lot on the journey, so making some really important sacrifices. I think for a lot of people, it's not possible if they don't actually want to work towards it. Yeah,
it's hard, isn't it? Because
it is difficult.
Part of you thinks, well, you want to live your life on a day-to-day basis and enjoy the things that you can afford.
Yeah.
Yes.
But obviously you want your jam tomorrow as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's hard, but we just see it as, you know, don't think of it the short term, but it's a sacrifice that we make, but it's a short-term sacrifice.
Maybe you've always been good with money.
Gain. No, I haven't been. So actually, I started off good with money when I did the little paper round and I was earning my money. I loved seeing my money grow in my savings account, but then it all went downhill when I tried
when you met Ken.
Exactly.
Not quite.
When I was trying to impress people and keep up with the Joneses, it went downhill, like buying so many ridiculous designer clothes and just wasting my money like that as a pure consumer.
Yeah.
So what advice have you got to, like, say, a 20-year-old to 20 to 30, a 20 to 30-year-old? What would you say to them? Would you say, you know, don't buy the trainers, think about live at home with your mum for a little bit while longer? What advice would you give to a youngster?
Do you know what? You said it, actually, because I vowed to live at home for as long as I possibly could until I got married. So if you're able to, if you have a great relationship with your parents, right, stay at home for as long as possible. You can save so much doing so.
Yeah.
And you can even help your parents as well with a little bit of rent, but it's nowhere near as much as what you would pay if you moved out.
The shopping thing is interesting, isn't it? Because if you just limit yourself a little bit, because basically the shopping thing is you get hit, don't you? You get it and go, oh my God, I'm going to love that. And then
so true,
that's not even wearing it, that's the thing.
And also, who are you actually buying those trainers for? You're buying it to impress people who don't know you or you don't know them anyway.
Yes. Exactly.
And you're trying to look rich when you're not rich.
Yes.
So why buy them? Don't buy those trainers. Don't buy the handbags. Save. Well, that's what I say.
One every now and again, if that's the thing.
Yeah.
So, Ken, what's changed? How have you managed to pay off, Ken? Like, this is for the two of you. You're home for 7 years. Give us the details. Where do we start with this?
So a big thing that helped us was overpaying our mortgage, and I'm hoping to do a bit of an illustration for you guys real quick. So on here, I've done a little bit of a chart. Imagine you've got a mortgage of £250,000 as an example, and let's assume you've got 5% interest and you've got it over a 25-year term.
Gotcha.
Overpaying at different amounts, and you can overpay any amount, by the way, overpaying at different amounts return little different outcomes. Let's say you overpaid by £100 a month. Yeah. That wipes off 3 years off that mortgage and will save you £26,000.
Oh, stop
So this would be you
interest.
get in touch with your mortgage provider and you say, I want to overpay by £100 a month.
Yes.
And are you able to do that with any mortgage, pretty much?
Most mortgages you can. You're allowed up to a 10% typically overpayment allowance per year. Right. And 10% is quite a lot to overpay. Yeah. OK?
So if you pay over, they will sting you with, with more fees.
If you exceed that, you get an early repayment charge or a penalty to pay.
But that's a lot. Say, you know, 250,000, 25 grand.
That's a lot of money.
In interest over the term. And it gets even better. If you overpay by £500 a month, which would take a lot of sacrifice and maybe earning more, it wipes 10 years off that mortgage and saves you around £83,000 in interest over the term of that mortgage.
That's 15 years.
Exactly. Now, for the people who may get a pay rise or may get bonuses and that sort of thing, if you overpaid by £1,000 a month, which I know is a lot of money, but it's possible for some people, it wipes a whopping 14 years off the term. Imagine 14 years of your life without a mortgage.
That's unbelievable.
So if you
that's
get
incredible.
either a bonus or you get a big hit of money, maybe an inheritance or something, that's kind of that's your advice there.
And then the interest it saves is huge, around £112,000 in interest over the term. So it does matter.
It really matters.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like when you had paid off your mortgage? You know, what did it mean for you?
Oh, wow.
Well, it was actually surreal and it didn't really quite sink in, did it?
Yeah, it took a while.
It took a while to sink in, but for us, it just gave us that security, you know, that peace of mind that we could do whatever we wanted to and we wouldn't have to worry about that monthly mortgage payments having to go out. So for us, it just gave us that relief and that peace.
And what's it? I'm really interested. What does the mortgage do? Because obviously I haven't paid off my mortgage yet. What do they send you the deeds to the house? How does it even work?
No,
do they send you a letter to say well done, or are you on the phone to them going, oh, I've
No,
paid
they're
it
on
off?
the phone. Are you sure you don't want to take another one?
I know.
It's actually not that dramatic. It's literally you make the call and you make your last payment and you get a letter in saying basically you've got zero balance.
Yeah, we
and that's
expected
the end
fireworks,
of it. There's no massive fireworks.
Celebration from them, like well done.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was.
But for us, it was a big deal because it just meant a lot less anxiety, a lot more security. We're a family, we've got children, so for us, the safety of a home with security is very important.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this is what most people that have a mortgage are working towards, or obviously, you know...
And this is not for everybody,
Of course
is it?
it
Like,
is.
some people are going to have to go to the end of the term.
Of course, but if you do find yourself with money or... You know, these are good tips. So, Ken, you wanted to talk about paying mortgages off fortnightly rather than monthly. Can you
Yes. So the idea about that is if you paid your mortgage every 2 weeks, so imagine you paid it at the start of the month and then you made an overpayment at the middle of the month.
And once again, that's something you could probably get in touch with your provider.
Yes, you can do that. You actually end up paying 13 months worth of mortgage payments in a 12-month period. And that helps to, again, reduce how much you're paying overall to the bank and helps you pay off the mortgage a lot quicker. Yeah.
Right, listen, we need to get this book out there because it's
Come
so
on.
beautiful, first of all. So
Awesome.
colourful. This is Financial Joy. And this is what you wrote.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is it lovely seeing the actual book? Has it been like
Do you
popular?
know what?
Is everyone all over it?
Do you know what? It's doing really well, and we even think it might become a Sunday Times bestseller.
Oh.
We think it might.
Well, it will now.
We find that today. So.
That's amazing.
Just last as well, can we talk a little bit about remortgaging? Obviously,
Yes.
speak to your financial advisor or your mortgage provider
Yes.
as a starting point. But, you know, people see remortgaging as, you know, you can get access to a lot of money at the same time.
Sure.
So what would be your big advice in terms of remortgaging?
So I'd say with that is remortgaging doesn't always work out to be a money-saving thing for people. For some people, they can't even remortgage. It's worth pointing that out.
Yeah.
What you want to do is ideal for somebody who maybe started off with a higher rate already. Maybe they've been stung by a much higher rate, maybe in the last 12 months, for example. Now, with interest rates likely to start to come down over the next 6 to 12 months, people need to start to look out for opportunities to try to get a better deal.
Right, so let's say in a 2-year mortgage, now might be, or you know, in a year's time, they might be able to get a better rate. Right?
Exactly. And the goal being really that you're trying to get onto a much better deal, a much lower rate, and that helps you to save a bit of money. But ideally, you want to keep those payments going anyway because you want to, if you want to become mortgage-free quicker, keeping those payments going and making those overpayments definitely help to make it much more of a reality.
Brilliant.
Oh, Ken, Mary, thank you for joining us. And
Thank
obviously,
you.
always talk to your mortgage broker before you make any big decisions.